Welcome to the Visibility Queen Show. Today I am coming to answer all of your questions. So when I am having people join my community, they get to talk about what they're struggling with, what answers they need. And so I am here to give you all of those answers now. So I hope you're having an amazing day. One of the first things that I see quite often, which is actually something that I didn't used to see and I see more now. And I think the reason I see this more now is because there is so much noise when it comes to the online world. And so the question was how to be more original, how to have originality, how to, that's what I struggle with. And so how do we fix that? And I think the thing is that, and I talk about this, and I feel like I've been talking about this a lot lately. So take notes, okay? So many times we feel as business owners that we just get to keep repeating ourselves, and not that repeating ourselves is a bad thing, but we're just talking about our business. We're just talking about the pain points. We're just talking about the thing that our product or service does. We're just talking about the thing that we sell, right? And although that is great and our audience needs to know that, and it's very important, right? It's very, very important. I'm not trying to deny that. But if that's all we talk about, there is no originality because there's somebody else that does what you do. And maybe there's multiple people if you're in network marketing, right? So if we are only focused on the product or service we sell, there is no originality. Besides, it's maybe coming out of your mouth, right? And you're talking about that, but you're saying the same things that everybody else is saying. But when you put yourself in it, when you talk about your past, when you talk about how you've overcame XYZ, when you talk about you struggled with XYZ and now you're here, when you talk about your transformation, when you talk about your pains and your sorrows and the things that you've went through, that's where connection is made. It's not always made through, oh, let's talk about social media. For me, for instance, most people connect with me because I'm an introvert who got over her fear of getting on video, and now I help other people do the same. I talk about that moment when I thought I was going to throw up, like I thought I was going to pee my pants. I've gotten hives that have literally started right here and crept all the way up my throat, and it's embarrassing, right? Like I talk about that a lot, and people relate to me because they're like, oh my gosh, I feel that way. Like if I feel this way and I am an introvert and I am worried about what people think, and I do get hives and I do fear video, I can change. It is possible for me, right? And so they see that because I tell my story. I tell my struggles. I put myself out there. And so to combat originality, if you want to be more original, we get to add you into your content. We get to add more of your stories, more of your challenges, more of the things that you have overcame, right? So that's my advice on originality. If you are struggling with that, or you have a lot of competition, that's how you become different than everybody else, right? You become you and you attract your person. And if you don't attract them, then they're not your person, right? And that's what I want. If you turn people off, they're not your person. So just remember that there is somebody out there for you, and they are looking for you. And maybe they haven't found you yet because maybe you haven't told your story yet. Maybe you haven't talked about yourself enough. And so we want to do more of that in our storytelling and in our content creation. Okay, creating consistent, catchy content. Okay, so the great thing about consistency is that we do it all the time, right? And so consistency is great. Are you always going to create catchy content? No, you're not. I teach how to stop people scroll. I teach how to become a pattern interrupt. I teach that in my boot camp and in my inner circle. But if we do that all the time, that's one of the things I tell them. If you do this all the time, you're going to wear your audience out. I mean, they're going to come to expect that from you, and you're going to stop pausing their scroll. You're going to stop stopping their scroll. You're going to stop being a pattern interrupt because they're used to it. So it's not something we can do all the time. I think we need to focus on the 4 E's of creating content. We need to be emotional. That's one of the things we forget when we're adding in content. We need to be educational. We need to be engaging, and we need to be creating entertaining content. Like if we stick with those, it's always going to be value based, right? It's going to be value based on where we're at and what our customer is looking, or potential customer or audience is looking for at that time. So focus on the 4 E's, and you're going to create some amazing content. You're going to stop their scroll. It's just, if you try to do it all the time, you're going to be really disappointed, because you actually can wear them out, right? Even in Facebook ads, we have something called ad fatigue. So you don't want to fatigue your audience, right? We don't want to do that. So let's not. And let's not try to stop their scroll every time they see our content, because if we post 5 times a day, that's exhausting for our audience, right? So let's focus on putting the right type of content out there. And then when it's really important, we want to grab their attention, we will. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's see. Knowing what would interest my clients most. I'm assuming this means content. And so going back to what I said earlier about how to be original, we also want to know our clients' pain points, right? We want to know how we can solve the pain that keeps them up at night. And maybe you're like, well, I sell jewelry and there's not really a pain there. But what if your jewelry brings somebody confidence? What if your jewelry makes somebody feel like $1,000,000? Yeah, getting my roots done, so, if my roots are showing, like my hair, that's a pain, right? And it sucks, but it's not really keeping me up at night, right? But when I go get my hair done, what does it do? It brings me joy. It makes me feel like a new person. And I exude all this confidence because my hair looks freaking amazing. Not today. It's got a lot of dry shampoo in it. But normally, that's how I feel, right? Everybody loves, I'll never forget the time that I went and got my hair done. Totally side note. And then I had to get my driver's license picture. It was like the best day ever, because I was like, that's the best picture, the best my hair has ever looked in a driver's license photo. So anyhow, know the pain points, know what brings them joy, know how you can support them with the product or service that you sell. All right. Most people struggle with content. I see content. Being consistent with content, creating professional graphics. So here's my advice on all this. If you want to create professional graphics, buy Canva. There's so many templates, you cannot mess it up. You cannot look bad by using Canva. Change it to your branding colors. If you don't have branding colors, pick some. Go to Coolers, what is it? Coolersco, I think it is. I'll drop the link right now. So go here, find some colors that you like. It's a really cool tool, and you seriously just keep pushing the space button and keep pushing the space button, and it will and then you can stop it when you like a color, and then you push the space button again, and you can literally figure out your whole branding colors that way. So use coolers.co, use Canva, you'll have professional looking graphics. As far as content goes, again, we want to create educational content. We want to educate our audience about what our product or service does. We want to engage them. Some people come to me and they're like, well, I don't have any engagement on my content. And my first question is, are you asking a question? Are you trying to engage them? Because sometimes we don't even ask. And so we're upset that we don't get engagement on something that we're not even asking a question to. If people just want to read it and, and it's just like, oh, it's just informational and there's no question, most of the time they're not going to. If it's emotional, yes, people should technically normally respond to that. They should say, oh my gosh, I feel this so much. I agree with you, blah, blah, blah. But remember, we all want instant gratification when it comes to our content. Just like our audience wants instant pain reliever of whatever they're looking for, right? But there are more lurkers than there are likers. There are more people watching your content than are commenting on it. There are more people watching your content than they are liking or loving or surprising or whatever the emoji is that they want to choose, right? People are watching. Are you so hung up on instant gratification that you're not willing to continue to put content out there so that they can see that? That's one reason I love lives. I know how many people are watching this live right now. I can see my analytics after the replays if I keep them short enough. Today is the Visibility Queen show. It's not going to be a short video, but I can definitely see, are people watching? Are they engaging? When are they falling off? That's a great thing about video, right? And most people do love to consume video content. So to me, it's important for me to put that type of content out there. So we also want to entertain our audience. So sometimes we can talk about funny things. We can give them a quote, but you're not going to build a business on just quote graphics, okay? You have to show some of you. You have to show some transformations. You have to tell your story. You have to get on video. And can you do it without video? Yeah, you can. Is it going to take you a heck of a lot longer? Absolutely. You know, we talk about long and short-term marketing strategies in marketing, and honestly, if I have video, like just video on my platforms versus static posts, which is just pictures or quotes, I feel like this over here, the pictures and the quotes, are a long-term marketing strategy compared to the video content. The video content, the visibility is going to bring your audience in. It's going to help them like, know, and trust you so much faster. Even if they don't watch all your video, they don't need to watch all your video. They probably just need to watch the first few seconds to decide whether or not they like you, right? And if you can draw them in, and then they'll start paying attention to more of your stuff. So hands down, do more video. Do more video, do more video. I'm going to say that till I'm blue in the face, but do more video. I actually was blue in the face earlier today because I have a new webcam and I got on Zoom and I was blue again. This is the second time this week I've been blue. It's insane. But anyhow, okay. Next question. Building traffic. So this depends, right? It's kind of like the engaging thing that I just said. Like people complain that we don't engage with their content. Nobody engages with their content, but they're not asking questions. How can you drive traffic if you're not providing a link? Are you also maximizing all the traffic drivers, which means your short-term content like Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, Instagram, you can have one link in your bio, but also Pinterest. Are you maximizing that long-term marketing, right? Whereas Pinterest is very searchable. Yeah, it's not coming up on their news feed. They actually have to search for you, but it's a great traffic driver if it fits the pain that the person that's searching for is looking for, right? If it grabs their attention. Think about YouTube, another long-term marketing strategy, but you have all this space underneath your video to drive traffic to. You can say for more information like this, or to grab my free download or whatever. Is your download or your lead magnet links in all your bios? Like, you can't drive traffic if you're not putting the links out there. People don't just magically go, oh, I'm going to go to chrissyconnor.com and see if that's where Chrissy's stuff is housed. No, nobody's doing that, right? Nobody's doing that. They want a link, they want easy access, and they want to be able to click it and go to where they want to go. So if you want more traffic, make sure you're adding links to your content. Make sure you have your links in where you want to drive traffic in all of your link in your bios. And then also make sure you're utilizing Pinterest and you're utilizing YouTube, because those are great traffic drivers. But sometimes people just need to be told what to do. And like if we're on this video, like I dropped the link to Coolers so you could work on your branding, and I would say go to coolersco. I just dropped the link, right? And so we want to make sure that we're also telling people what to do, because we all need to be told what to do sometimes. We don't have direction unless we're given direction. So the best way to give direction is tell people what to do. So that's my advice on that. All right, being creative. So as far as being creative goes, honestly, I am most creative on Saturday mornings. And it's crazy. That's actually the time I said I'm only allowed to work on my business on Saturdays. I'm not allowed to work on anybody else's business. And so it's when I do a lot of creating for my business. I get up early on Saturdays because I can't sleep in and nobody else is out of bed. And so I am taking that opportunity to really be creative about my business and work on my business. And I'm also very creative every morning. It's just sometimes there are fires to put out, but I do try to, from 5 to 7 a.m. minimum, more like 4:30 to 7 a.m., I work on me and my business. And I'm very creative during that time. I'm also very creative when I'm driving. I think it's because I cannot multitask. I literally have to pay attention to the road, but my mind starts filling up with things. I'm like, oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do this. Or also when I go walking. So find what's creative for you and do more of that. Like if we're always hustle and bustle, if we always are multitasking, if we always have a million things going on, the creativity is going to be lacking for anyone. Like you can't thrive and be creative in that type of environment, or most people can't. I'm not going to say never, but most people can't. So find a way for you to get some peace and not have to multitask and have, focus time where you can actually work on being more creative. So anyhow, I hope those questions helped and served you in your business today. I will be back. I think we have a guest next week. I'll have to look and see, but I am so excited about what is coming up and what is in store for the Visibility Queen Show. If you want to be a guest, message me and I will give you a questionnaire to fill out, and we will see if you are a fit for the show. And guess what? If you're a guest on my show, it's visibility. So that's a good thing, right? So have an amazing day. And if you have any questions you want answered on the Visibility Queen Show, make sure you message me as well, and I'll get those answered on our next time live.